His name is Michael Sestak. He sold hundreds of US visas, made millions, laundered money through China, bought mansions in Thailand, and then got wrecked in what turned out to be one of the biggest corruption scandals in US State Department history. Before he was pocketing stacks of cash, Sestak was actually a good guy on paper. He was a cop, a deputy US Marshal, even a Navy Reserve intelligence officer, reaching the rank of lieutenant commander. A good-looking guy with a squeaky clean image. So when he applied to the Foreign Service, it was a no-brainer. In 2010, he was assigned to the Ho Chi Minh Consulate, a high-risk post as a visa officer. He does a good job and works his way up to become the chief officer of non-immigrant visas. So he's the final say in who gets a tourist visa to the US and who doesn't. Here's when things start to slide off the rails. Sestak meets a guy named Vending, a Vietnamese-American businessman who ran a travel and investment business. They become friends, and somewhere along the way, they're having lunch, and the conversation shifts from friendship to business. Now, here's the thing. He wasn't underpaid. Sestak made over $100,000 a year, plus free housing in Vietnam. He was already living better than 99% of the population, and even most Americans, frankly, but apparently that wasn't enough. Vo saw an opportunity. Sestak had the power, Vo had the connections. So together they hatch up a plan. Sell US visas to unqualified applicants, no interviews, no background checks, just cash and an approval stamp. So here's how the machine worked. Vo and his associates recruited clients, Vietnamese nationals who knew they wouldn't qualify for a tourist visa. They paid between $30,000 and $70,000. Vo funneled the money to Sestak. Sestak approved their visas, no questions asked. And this wasn't a one-time thing. It happened over and over. And this simple scheme made Sestak rich. Nearly 500 people got through, and he made $3 million in just 8 months. Drug cartel bosses would be envious of that. Now you're probably wondering, like me, why would somebody who can afford to pay $70,000 for a bribe not qualify for a tourist visa? It's because in Vietnam, many wealthy people got their money illicitly, whether through drugs or political corruption or something like that, where they can't verify their income. And because it's a high-risk post, consular officers there are trained to detect basically people that don't qualify even though they're rich. So these people, they weren't paying $70,000 for a visa to go to Disneyland. They were paying $70,000 to overstay and then bring their families to the US where they would feel more secure. With that dirty money, Sestak bought 9 properties in Thailand using Chinese banks to launder the cash. And if you're thinking, why Thailand? It's because he planned to retire there rich and untouchable. But spoiler alert, he didn't. Here's where it unravels. In most high-risk posts like Ho Chi Minh City, about 35 to 40% of tourist visa applications get denied. But under Sestak, only 8% got the thumbs down. A local Vietnamese employee also said that she noticed he would rely on feel for approving applications rather than standard protocol. She also noticed visits to his office by high-profile Vietnamese locals who received visas without any paperwork at all. Now that's just sloppy. Now this scheme actually goes on for a while, and Michael decides to resign from his post. He goes to Thailand, presumably living the high life with babes and beaches and all that good stuff, until he decides to go back to the US for vacation or see family or something. And then on May 10, 2013, he is arrested by federal officials for corruption. To his credit, he didn't fight it. He confesses, admits everything, and says he deserves to go to prison. Prosecutors said it was one of the largest bribery schemes involving foreign service officers in US history. Sestak gets 64 months in federal prison, but was released 9 months early due to good behavior. All his assets were seized, his visa selling ring dismantled, and What happened to the people who bought those visas? They lost everything. Their visas were revoked and they were permanently banned from the US. Many of them got 212 findings for material misrepresentations. That's a lifetime ban. No waivers, no appeals. And what's so funny is you've still got scammers standing outside US embassies claiming they know someone on the inside for $4,000. Okay, to put it bluntly, no consular officer is going to risk their career and 100K a year salary for $4,000. That's chump change. And for the few that are corrupt, the biddings usually starts at $30,000 or more, and even then, they still get caught. I used to work in fraud prevention. I've seen how many people destroy their shot at immigrations by trusting fixers. If you're trying to bring your fiance to the US or your wife under the CR1, the key is preparation, not shortcuts or scams. So what do you think? Was he just the greediest, luckiest guy ever? Or does this represent a severe lack of oversight in the US consulate in Ho Chi Minh City? Let me know in the comments below. Also, like and subscribe if you want to see more content about government corruption in the US. Oh, and if you want advice on how to do it the legal way, I'm also a visa consultant. Check out my website at busybodyvisa.com. Thank you very much.